I was doing today.
Not too bad because I had to get down to like 48. Oh no.
We had no no fire, but we
Being a grill.
yes, heard it through the grapevine. Previous marketing workstream to this. Or do you want to end with that?
You know, like another.
Cool. Yeah, I'll launch tomorrow. Some people, you've heard of Foxy and you think for Foxy until recently. So the cool thing about Foxy is that you can stake your Fox, you earn Foxy tokens, and Foxy is a yield-bearing version of Fox. So your balance, it's also rebasing. So as yield accrues to Foxy, your balance will just go up in your wallet. So this is pretty cool. But I think what makes Foxy really, really interesting is that not only is it a yield-bearing version of Fox that can deploy Fox into kind of the best available DeFi strategies, which right now is Tokamak, but we can also add DAO revenues to it in the future. So a lot of projects have staking reward contracts, like Sushi has X Sushi, but all the Sushi right now staked in X Sushi is just sitting idly there doing nothing. And they take a share of the fees, the protocol fees generated from SushiSwap, and they reward that to Sushi stakers. They also have a Sushi reactor, and I think the reactor yield is even higher than the yield right now on X Sushi. With Foxy, it's kind of like the best of both worlds, and it's the first staking contract to kind of combine both yield-bearing opportunities from DeFi strategies, as well as the option for DAOs and protocols to deposit a share of their revenues. So this should make Foxy the premium way to hold Fox, because you'll be getting both the Tokamak yield plus in the future a portion of DAO revenues. And yeah, it's just a really awesome evolution over these traditional staking rewards contracts. And I think the first really cool, unique protocol that ShapeShift has launched since Prism, which was like one of the original DeFi apps years ago. So shout out to Ocean and to Toshi and to Beard and everyone who worked on that, and to Eric for putting that bounty up. Really excited for this to soft launch tomorrow and then to continue building upon this protocol.
Hey Willie, one of the differences, you said this would be the premier way to hold Fox because you'll get Tokamak revenue plus shared revenue. Foxy will be getting the toke from the Tokamak in the beginning, getting the toke, selling it for Fox and distributing more Fox, or increase it also just rebases and you just get more Foxy as a result, correct?
Yeah, so anytime Fox is deposited into the Foxy contract, then we will rebase it and everybody's Foxy balance will go up proportional to the amount of Fox that's been deposited. So Foxy will always be redeemable one for one for Fox. But yeah, those Fox rewards can come from anywhere, right? They can come from the toke earned from all the staked Fox being sold for Fox. They could come from the DAO also depositing additional Fox from its other revenue streams. And the DAO can also decide to hold some of that token and then just cover it with Fox from its own treasury. I actually had a pretty cool idea recently, and sorry guys, just if you joined late, we were stalling a little bit to give people time to join because Toasty and Hunt are about to give us an overview of the new marketing growth globalization workstream. Figured we'd talk about one of the top of mind cool things, which is Foxy. But yeah, I was thinking right now that the DAO itself has a lot of Fox staked in the Tokamak reactor. One interesting thing we could consider is instead staking some of that toke into Foxy. And right now, the DAO is basically we're earning this toke from our staked Fox. We are holding most of it and restaking it, but we're selling $100,000 of this toke rewards per month for USDC. One thing I was thinking about this is that it could have kind of better optics if we tell the Tokamak community, hey, we're not selling 100% of the toke rewards for Fox. Instead, we're selling 50% of the toke rewards for Fox. We're holding the other 50%, and then we're still rewarding stakers with Fox from our treasury. So it could have a lot better optics. But as we can also still we can deposit as much Fox as we want. We already have 50 million T-Fox in the Tokamak reactor. We can migrate some of that over to the Foxy contract so that we have good optics, but could potentially even be selling more of the toke that we're currently earning from that 50 million Fox for Foxy rewards, but with better optics, if that makes sense. So something to consider. I'm gonna chat with John about it later today, and if he likes it, we'll kind of circulate that more with the community. But yeah, I think we've stalled enough. Looks like we got a solid turnout today for today's lunch. So welcome everybody. We're going to do the regular lunch AMA for the second half. But for the first half, we've got special guests, Hunt and Toasty, to give us an overview of the marketing, growth, and globalization work stream. And you can ask them anything. So I'll hand it over to you, Toasty.
Cool. Thanks. Well, I appreciate you stalling a little bit for me up there, just to get more people in here. And I made a mention, I spoke with the leadership team and made a mention in general. So last night, super exciting. Hunt took the funding proposal for marketing and growth globalization workstream into forum. So to give a quick overview, this would be combining the growth and globalization workstream that Hunt and myself have been co-leading for about the past 3 months, and joining it back to the marketing workstream, which their workstream leader left about 2 weeks ago. So they, made me interim workstream leader for the time. After diving into it, we decided to combine these two work streams. There's a number of reasons, and I'll go over some of those. But just super excited to share that news with everybody. It is a big thing because it'll be the largest work stream at the DAO. And it will be sunsetting an existing work stream, the marketing one, to join it back into this new work stream proposal. Some of the reasoning behind this is that, again, made myself interim work stream leader when Pete Coyne left his position. And after diving in and, working with the team and seeing what they were working on and some of the goals they were trying to accomplish, we thought it would be better suited to fall under, new leadership with Hunt and myself running it. And with the addition of, being able to keep a lot of these contributors, if not all of them, onto the new work stream. So looks like a large bounty on there, a large amount that we're asking in the proposal. However, it's justified with how many people we have contributing, the kind of time we need to run and manage this work stream. Also, one of the requests made last night that I wanted to cover a little bit was John around asking for a retro of sorts of, what we've accomplished on the growth marketing work streams over the past 3 months before this new one goes live. So I want to let everybody know that we will be providing an overview for what growth has accomplished really in depth over the past 3 months before we go into ideation, and also covering some of what marketing has accomplished and what we need to pivot on the marketing to accomplish new KPIs once this is rolled up all into one work stream. Hunt, if you're here, would you like to cover the exact dollar amounts that we'll be saving by combining these two work streams? I know a lot of people would probably want to hear that because saving money is good for the community and good for the DAO.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, it's in excess of like 70K. It really depends on how many people I still need to pay. I've been trying to clear like invoices for bounties that were completed in the last month or so, and pay contributors in the marketing work stream back to pay that they didn't necessarily realize that they had, and I'm still getting inbound inquiries about bounties, so it's kind of like a touch and go thing. But I would like to say in excess of 70 for sure, possibly closer to 80 over a 2-month period. In the long term, it saves a significant amount of money. Around 80K, 70, 80K is just the immediate savings that we would see in folding the work stream into growth. So
cool.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. Yeah, and then also to give a quick shout out to Hunt, who has been doing 80+ hour weeks since Pete Coyne has left, and I had to deal with some family stuff as well. So he actually took the initiative to help me out and started doing little interviews with the marketing team, really understanding what they were working on, giving them some better sense of direction and purpose, and building out this new work stream. We're super excited for this to go into ideation. We'll share some of those metrics ahead of that. But yeah, if anybody has any questions, comments around this, feel free to ask me during this call, type it up in the forum, DM me. I'm around to answer any questions.
Yeah, I'd also like to give the opportunity to any marketing contributors that are involved in this process to speak and speak their mind, and whatever the case may be, for anybody that wants to speak about this change and this proposal and this new direction moving forward. And
I won't talk for too long, but I would just say that the merge of work streams has already been way more effective for all of us, and communication has been really good. And in terms of leadership, it's been a huge relief having this change, and I can ping Hunt whenever and get the answers, the things that I need. So big shout out to you, Toasty and Hunt, for coming in, like stepping into this odd situation and just like exceeding my expectations.
Thanks, man.
Thanks,
I know
appreciate
Ron's
that.
like an OG in the Workstream. He's been doing like streaming stuff and taking care of like a bunch of like core marketing items that we've been maintaining really for months and months. Yeah, we set that up like all those months ago, Ron. So I'm happy to have him continue with this workflow as well. And I just want to give a shout out to Ron for like sticking through like multiple changes in the Workstream and goals.
What a wild and crazy ride it's been. Glad to see that we've learned some things and we're continuing to grow and head in hopefully ultimately the best direction for the DAO moving forward.
Yeah, I'm stoked. It's already been awesome. Like Ethan was saying, there's already like we're exponentially more productive and like more focused and have like direct goals and like product launches and stuff like that. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, and I wanted to give you know, a little bit of an update too of, you know, since our last addendum passed, which brought Lindsay Liu onto our work stream as well, and she will be you know, she's added it as a contributor for this new proposal. That, you know, we're just kind of getting started. You're starting to probably see Shapeshift in the news a little bit more. That's a lot of thanks to her work and, you know, all of the stuff that we're building here, all the stuff that product and engineers are building. We're about to, in my opinion, to see some very large exponential growth in optics in terms of seeing Shapeshift more recognized in the crypto space and in the DAO world of what we're building. So, you know, Foxy going live, a lot of these projects that we're working on, they're all going to be going live. And now we have a good growth and marketing team established to really tell the world our story and what we're building over here. So, you know, I think we're about to, you know, take off on a rocket ship. We have a lot of tools coming our way in terms of, you know, marketing. Email list is a massive one. We have a 800,000 email list that we've been built up for 7 years now that we'll hopefully have access to in the coming month. And once we get access to that, it's just another tool and opportunity to use to tell the ShapeShift DAO story to the world. So very excited for that. You'll be seeing a lot more of us in the news. You'll be seeing a lot more interviews with, you know, contributors here, talking to different podcasts. We have a bunch of summer conferences kicking off around, you know, Ethereum and even some Bitcoin stuff that, you know, we're building into optically to have at least some of our members there representing the ShapeShift DAO, sponsoring some of them. So yeah, it's going to be really, really crazy next couple of spring and summer. It's definitely going to be a crypto and Fox summer for sure.
Yeah, one change in like focus too, and I'm really excited to have Lindsay back too as well, is like we don't necessarily, I haven't seen marketing and like highlight inbound like requests and support items and like things that marketing does behind the scenes with like a lot of different work streams to get certain things done that we need done. I really like want to focus on like it being like the best we can be in terms of communication and workflow, like supporting the DAO as a whole, rather than being like siloed and just like focusing like very narrowly on like mission and goals. And I think it's really already showing in terms of like communication flow with other workstream leaders, with product. Hopefully we get a little bit better about being more in the know about engineering stuff, but I'm willing to like, you know, take the dive there and like try to like maintain some comms there with OXDeFi and stay in tune with like the core building that's going on around here. But I'm excited to move forward in like a more mature like direction in terms of marketing plan. By the way, thanks,
Awesome.
Toast.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you like covering some of these things. That's it for me to kind of, you know, give everybody the overview of like what we're working on and what, you know, we're hoping to see. So our timeline looks like in the coming days, we'll have quick little, you know, documents and retro to kind of look at what we accomplished in these past 3 months on both the growth and some of the marketing side of what they were accomplishing over there, and where we're retooling a lot of the goals and the KPIs for this upcoming stream. So that'll come out in the next couple of days, and then once that's received, if there's no major changes in the form and no major requests, you know, we'll hop this over to ideation and keep moving the ball forward. We're trying to have this go live and, you know, be accepted for the end of our growth and globalization term, which was May 1st, and, you know, just roll right into this. And then this would also sunset the existing marketing work stream with all the contributors moving over to this new work stream in some form or fashion. So super exciting. the next couple days, next week or two is going to be pretty exciting, at least for us on the as co-workstream leaders, and having Hunt and myself back in the co-workstream leader position. So if there's any questions, feel free to shout them out right now, or type them up, or DM us, or add them to the forum. Whatever you feel comfortable doing.
So I have a question about something in the proposal.
Yeah, I wanted to give you I was actually just about to talk about you, Seth, before you spoke. So let me inject this real fast. It's kind of hard to maintain and communicate all of the changes that are happening, since it's such a vast proposal. But one of those changes that I do want to highlight is Seth moving up into more of he's gonna probably spend a bit more time and commit to a little bit more responsibility moving forward in the education project, and it reflects in his compensation increase. So I want to give a shout out to him for accepting, trying to take on a leadership role and lead that effort with the education team. So take it away, Seth. Thank you.
Yeah, so I noticed that, well, thanks for the shout out. But I noticed that the time frame of this proposal is 6 months, whereas the previous one was 4 months. So I'm curious as to why why it's been elongated by 2 months.
Yeah. So, Hunt, do you want to cover that, or do you want me to?
Yeah, I could cover one angle that you might not touch on. I think is I have inbound requests for that, for some job stability, for some of the contributors that are mission critical, new contributors, and specifically some leadership in the work stream, some people with core experience, and that are deeply involved in core functionality of this work stream and what I hope it becomes and can be. I need to secure them basically with job security, and giving them that extra term and that extra couple months really does help me hire. So that's my insight on that.
Yeah, I was just going to echo that exact same thing, and just add on to that. After seeing some of the contributors getting added, but also some of the proposals that we're trying to bring into the DAO, one, for example, a great one that we've been working with was MetaFactory, and some of the merchandising there is taking them a little bit longer than even they promised with a 3-month runway. So having some of that longer runway of 6 months rather than 4 gives a little bit of more peace of mind, but also lets us build out a little bit longer of campaigns, or work with a little bit longer of these deals, and secure just more stability for the work stream overall. So that's pretty much our reasoning behind it.
Okay. Good to know.
Cool. Thanks for the question. I appreciate it. Anyone else have any questions?
Yeah, I think I covered everything I wanted to cover for now, until we get into a deep dive on growth and update those KPIs and just make everything a lot more fine-tuned.
Cool.
Hey guys, thanks for putting this all together and having this AMA. Is it the proposal that's up in the discussion forum? It's really thorough. I really appreciate it. It includes every individual that would be hired by this new work stream. Is that correct? Or are there still some outside maybe consultants that come in?
Yeah, we have long-term bounty contributors that I did not include there. So there are probably 6 to 7 people that are consistent contributors to this work stream. I'm still trying to pin down exactly how many people have been contributing to marketing. Because I still have inbound hey, I heard you're kind of leading this directive right now. What do I do? I'm owed money, sort of thing. So it's kind of been a learning process for me, figuring out exactly who is viable to continue, who wants to, and stuff like that. So I sort of just included the people that I thought were definitely dedicated to this work stream, I guess.
Gotcha. Okay, and then that's cool, and that's good. I mean, I think you need some funds for just bounty contributors in general. So this just lists all of the full-time or part-time kind of salary, they are getting a consistent amount of money every month. That's who's listed in the proposal. Is that right?
Yeah, that's
Correct.
correct.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have the breakdown too of the marketing, the actual like the budget itself breaks down every single person's salary. So we're open, super transparent. But you will see larger pools in there, but like coordinate pools and bounty budget pools for exactly what Hunt just described, and the odds and ends that we need to keep building out the team if we see a need or a resource for it. So we want to have that without having to do a massive addendum. We tacked on some extra bounty stuff there.
So you just said I must be missing it. There's a link to a budget that has a little bit more of a breakdown in it.
Yeah.
Why do I not? Where is that?
I'll just post it directly in general if that's cool with everybody. And I'll tag you, Josh, so you can.
I'm not sure why I'm not seeing that in the proposal. That's
Hey,
the
yep.
description that's posted, but
It should be in there, linked somewhere. There's so much
is
stuff
there.
in there.
It's blue. It says marketing, growth, and globalization budget. It's in specification.
there it is right there. As soon as you said it, I saw it. Okay, great. Thank you.
So that should give you a really good breakdown of like exactly line by line item what's going to be used. And obviously there's going to be some in there that's like we try to put bounty categories for each of those. But just seems how we optimize it the best. Also wanted to give a quick overview of, Josh, I think you were previously involved in, like we had the retro when we were splitting growth and marketing out into 2 different work streams, and the reasoning behind us kind of using the community lunch AMAs or me doing the roadshow by going to different leadership calls. And, I've been talking about this for the past week or two. So our timeline's a little bit expedited because again, our growth and globalization, we've been focused on, redoing our work stream for May 1st, essentially is when we had to do it. So, with Pete Coin leaving, kind of turned things on its head a little bit crazy. So we had to kind of scramble for the past 2 weeks. And that's why we're doing a little bit of an expedited process. I want to take the time and for people to reach out individually too, because I know that was a concern of us when we split it off. Now we're recombining it. And I appreciate everybody giving us the chance to get some of these numbers out there, get these metrics out there. And then in the coming days, we'll have a quick, document retro, using the format that Ops put out of hey, what did we accomplish? What are we hoping to accomplish in this next term? Where did we fail? And where did we hyper exceed? And then what does it look like with both of these combined together? So appreciate the patience from everybody giving us a couple days to get that together, just because this is kind of a quick scramble for us.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the budget. Do I see a line item for you, Toasty and Hunt? Where's that?
It's the top. Are you on the same one that? Did you see the one I posted in general?
Yeah, that's the one I brought up.
Yeah. You don't see there's a whole yellow section for the growth workstream budget?
All I see is it says miscellaneous budget coordinate. Oh, that's vertical. That's horizontal rather than vertical. Oh, I see. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Ours is built out a little bit because it's more of the leadership, and that's
Okay.
kind of structured to have the leadership. And that was I gave the overview a little bit in the leadership call we had. But the reason it's structured like this is, for everybody's education, is the bus factor that we're taking into account. We saw that to be super helpful in terms of what just happened with Pete Coin leaving and essentially giving us 45-minute notice for me and Hunt to take over as interim workstream leaders for that. But yeah, we definitely, for ours, for the size of the work stream, we factored in that bus factor. So if I go walk outside after this call and get hit by a bus, I feel very confident that Hunt would be able to lead the work stream and the success of the DAO. Then also bringing in Lindsay Liu, who's, more senior and head of communications, repurposing her to also be able to step in if something were to happen to both Hunt and myself as well.
Yeah.
So we're kind of really structuring this to be a good safety net, and then also just the amount of time we saw it took to lead all these people, and now adding even more people, we're just okay, we need to restructure this a little bit more.
And you've got, I see you have room for bounties there. What about other tools? I thought the last budget you had quite a few tools. I see coordinate. Are there any other tools on this budget?
Yeah, so under communications events, we have a couple down there with quoted and Meltwater. Those are services and tools that Lindsay's going to be using. We did not bake in under ours where it has bounties. Sprout Social is pretty low cost. That's a rounding error essentially. So we didn't include, that one. And not as we kind of did this last work stream, we didn't see the need to have like a breakdown of too much of the tools. Now, as mentioned on a past call, we will need to probably do an addendum when we receive the email list, depending on what service we go to use. Because just to host that email list alone in some places, like we were using, Autopilot, that was like, I think it centralized was like $7,000 or $8,000.
Oh yeah.
At some
Yeah.
point. So that's
Yeah.
definitely we didn't want to include that in there because then all of a sudden, like if we don't get the email list until the end of May or something like that, then it kind of just inflates our budget a little bit more than necessary.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, no, this all makes sense. It does kind of seem to me that you would want some kind of contingency, just like it doesn't like you leave yourself much room for error with this budget. Maybe from history you're that exact. But that's just a comment. Take it for what it's worth.
Cool. Yeah, no, we'll definitely like talk about that. Hunt's a budget master. Like he's found amazing ways to say, like, so if anything, we've been constantly giving money back to the treasury from our last work stream, and then marketing will, like he mentioned, will be giving close to 70 to 80K back to the foundation. So we wanted to be a little bit more strict with this budget, and kind of stick with it really, really closely. And if there's a big item that comes in, like, when we have Lindsay joining the team, like those kind of instances, like working and creating a new addendum instead of like kind of over like billing, I'd rather, be really tight budget than overinflate it too much. Be confident that we can stick to it as well.
Awesome. Thanks for the work.
Of course. Thanks for the questions. I really appreciate it. Cool.
All right. Any other questions for Hunt and Toasty before we move on to the regularly scheduled lunch AMA?
Thanks, Willie, for giving us that first half. It was super helpful. And again, if anybody has any questions, leave them in the forum. Type it out in the growth channel. Type it out in the general channel. Tag myself. Tag Hunt. If we're already on friends on Discord, if not, invite us. DM us. We want to be able to like serve the DAO, the community, as best as possible. That's our whole role here. So open book. Pick our brains.
Yeah, shout out to like all the marketing work stream that is here right now. I see you guys, and I appreciate everyone being so like open to change so quickly. It's been really cool. You guys are gonna be rock stars moving forward, and we're gonna see like exponential growth. So I'm excited to move forward and get this done right. So I appreciate you.
Cool. Thanks all. All right, Willie, back to you.
Sweet. Thanks again, Hunt and Toasty and Marketing Workstream and everybody for the great questions. All right. So now we're going to open it up for questions about anything. You can ask them publicly. Just unmute and ask away. You can ask them in the stage chat, or you can submit questions anonymously in the form at the top of the stage chat. I see we got one anonymous question submitted, so I will read that. If the proposal given Fox is accepted, will the APR on the region farm go up after $1 million is injected on the project? Would anyone like to take a stab at answering this one?
Sorry, what was the question, Willie? I wasn't paying attention.
So if this give Fox token swap gets executed, will the APR on the Fox Honey region farm go up as a result of that?
It wouldn't go up, but it would create liquidity for people that want to swap to the other token, right? That's the current plan.
Bingo. Exactly. Yeah, there's no direct impact that would cause the APR for Fox Honey to go up. That APR is specifically determined by the set amount of Fox that we've allocated towards rewards and how much Fox Honey LP is staked in the farming contract. But you're absolutely right that it might have some indirect effects. And one thing it will certainly do is increase the amount of Fox liquidity available on Gnosis chain, which is the main reason we're doing it.
I mean, it's good to keep like an open mind on expanding like anything that's like super successful or like reasonably speaking. Like I don't think we have to like just leave things as they are if this really does seem to be super valuable to the community.
Yeah, to your point, we can always choose to increase those rewards, and we can always launch more region farms now that we have this set up. So I do hope that maybe in the future we'll have like an angel vault on Gnosis chain, and we'll be able to do angel vault farming with the Fox stream, where not 100% of the rewards are immediately claimable, and it'll just add to this this Fox stream. So
That'd be
we as
sweet.
Foxes can continue doing cool things to support the DAO and just increase our Fox stream rate. PTT, I thought I saw you unmuted. Were you going to ask something?
Oh, I just said that'd be sweet to have an Angel Farm version or Angel Vault
Totally.
version.
I agree. The big missing thing there is Uniswap v3 on Gnosis chain, but I assume that that's a matter of time. I'll be surprised if Uniswap v3 isn't launched on Gnosis chain by the end of the year.
There we go.
Cool. Great question. Whoever submitted that anonymously, thank you. Any other questions or topics that anyone would like to discuss?
Is Pasta Ghost or Highlander in here? Love to hear if they've decided to make any updates to the Keep proposal workstream.
No, they're in Miami right now, I think, unless one of them's here, but I'm pretty
Okay.
sure they're. Yeah, BTC Miami just started today. I'm trying to actually get down there. Talk to them.
Nice. Glad Keep's represented at BTC Miami.
Yeah.
I know Product met with Pasta Ghost and Highlander and Mr. Nerd here this past week to talk about they're working on getting some more KPIs added to their proposal. That was some of the feedback they got. So we chatted with them about what kind of KPIs we could measure with Pendo. Unfortunately, just with our current architecture, where there's a lot that we can't track, and the only stuff that we can track is going to be on the alpha version of ShapeShift. But we came up with some cool creative ideas where we could at least measure Keep Key user happiness and success, basically, to at least ensure that the Keep users who are using alpha are having a good time. They're happy with their Keep Key. They're able to do what they want to do. They're likely to recommend Keep Key to a friend. So I do know that they've heard the feedback and are working on updating the proposal with some more clear KPIs at least.
Maybe one of those could be like participating in things like when we have like guests come over, like that are interested in integrations, and Keep Keys like definitely one of the definitive items. Like having them like support things like that as like a priority, or trying to prioritize higher with things like that would definitely be cool to see.
Yeah, that's an awesome idea. I think they're super open to feedback. So if you suggest that, I think there's a good chance they'll consider including that. Any smart goals that we can think of, I think they're open to considering.
I'm super interested in like the Foxy and like Cosmos situation that we have coming up. I'd definitely be interested to hear if anybody has any thoughts on Foxy and how close that is and like things like that. I know we have Never Was here.
Never was. Can you give us an update on Foxy?
You guys are rough, man. Yeah. So we did a release late last night, and it had basically Foxy's just is there. It's just feature flagged right now, hidden in the background. But you can interact with the contract. Basically, we've been testing, using that for testing, but we should be good and ready to go for tomorrow. I know there is some discussion and talk. I don't know if Ocean's in here right now, of V2. Yeah, he is, of like a V2 or another version of Foxy coming very short follow. I seen his PR. By the way, great work. Dang, Ocean, you're fast. But Toshi and Ocean have been working already on kind of making some unique changes that already add capability and capacity for the Foxy token itself. So it's moving fast. We should have the soft launch version available for tomorrow at some point. The contracts have already been transferred over to the DAO. And yeah, it's looking great. I've done some testing obviously on it, unstaked yesterday after the release was done in one of the wallets, and was able to see Foxy turn back into Fox. So it will burn the Foxy and turn it back into Fox once the tokamak cycle is done, and you're able to pull your Foxy off of the tokamak. And yeah, it's looking good, man. Any other questions, feel free to ask.
Thanks for the update, never was. Definitely stoked on that. I'm super excited. If anybody if anybody wants to speak on it, or when we're able to speak on the next version, so to speak, of this project, or I guess the next Lego, and the money Legos, and it's going to be really exciting. I'm super stoked.
Yeah. Oh, also, just want to add, we do have a call tomorrow at 11:30 Mountain Standard Time. It'll basically be the pre-launch call for Foxy, where we're gonna, have our go no goes updated. Looks like everything should be good, but hopefully all goes to goes, and then once that's done, we'll take the next steps. But yeah, if anyone wants to join that call tomorrow, feel free, especially the stakeholders that want to have some conversation around any topics that may be of interest. Feel free to join during that call.
Thanks, never was. Super stoked about Foxy. And yeah, Hunt, I know you mentioned a little bit about kind of future Foxy plans. We've got John on the call. John's been spearheading kind of the Foxy evolution. John, is there anything that you can share, or if not, can you share maybe when the community could expect to hear more about the future of Foxy? John, are you listening and available? Okay, well, just stay tuned. I don't want to speak for him, but he's got some really, really awesome plans for where Foxy can go from here. And we're being a little bit careful to reveal them because these are all open source contracts, and we want to mitigate the risk of somebody taking our idea and just launching an unaudited version before we can get this new version audited. But yeah, I'll say it's really exciting, and one of the cool things about it is that it's not a crazy amount of effort. It takes a lot of what Ocean and Toshi have already built, and kind of just builds upon that. Yeah, so excited for everyone to hear more about that soon.
I see Ocean unmuted. Are we going to hear from him?
We're just chilling out. Yeah, I don't have a ton to maybe say about the upgrades. I mean, there is the PR out there for people that are interested, just making the current contract suite upgradable, and using kind of the standard that Opens Upland's created for that. And that means that in the future, people wouldn't have to migrate if we add functionality to the contracts. So that functionality could be a lot of different things, but maybe in the future we have other strategies besides tokamak for earning yield. Would be something that we could definitely add and extend to enhance the returns that are being generated. So just additional features like that. So and also different ways of exiting too. Even in the short time that we've been working on Foxy, DeFi changes rapidly, which is kind of why it's so cool. But originally we had kind of come up with this mechanism to provide liquidity to people that needed to be able to transition quickly from Foxy to Fox, and that originally wasn't able to be facilitated because your Fox is locked up in tokamak, right? So you can't get it out immediately. There's cycles, but since then we've already seen that now tokamak has been launching curve factories, and so you can easily swap from their asset called TFox back to Fox. And so then that gives us another avenue for which we could also allow that to occur. So it's pretty cool. These things change pretty rapidly, and the upgradable functionality allows us a little bit more flexibility and a less user impact, which is probably the thing that everyone cares about on the call. Even especially with the way that ETH is right now and the fees, staking and unstaking gets pretty expensive. So it's nice that we could theoretically, without having anyone do anything, upgrade the contracts and give you guys new functionality.
Super cool, Ocean. And yeah, I agree with Never Was. I was amazed with how quickly you're able to bang that out. So is the idea that we'll have like this upgradable version of the contract ready, and then we won't necessarily deploy that until we have like a good reason to upgrade the contract and ask everyone to migrate?
Yeah, there was some rumblings of perhaps delaying and just rolling out the new upgradable contracts, but I don't think that's the right path for a variety of reasons. So yeah, we would probably wait until we have substantial functionality that would warrant people, making the investment to switch contracts. That being said, it probably wouldn't have to happen right away. Like even if we did roll out a Foxy V2 in the future, a lot of protocols do this and they still support V1, so you could still just earn yield in V1. It may not be as sweet as whatever the V2 yield is, but still, wouldn't be a forced upgrade, I guess.
Totally, yeah. Once you put those staking contracts out and people deposit, you kind of got to keep them running, because not everyone's going to withdraw ever. Or at least, I don't know, at least you give them some time. Maybe we do decide, okay, this is going to be the cutoff date where Foxy stops operating, Foxy V1 stops operating, but we can cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, part of the cool thing too is that this really does open up this thing to be way just as people were talking about the money Legos, right? Now, like, it becomes way more extensible and extendable. So it's kind of a really nice functionality to have. There's always this push and pull, right, between launching, getting stuff out, going through audit cycles, and implementing new functionality. And originally, just the upgradability wasn't something that was in scope, and for time considerations was left out. But now that we kind of have the contract stable and going to market with them, and a little bit some time to focus on kind of the next set of features.
Super cool. Yeah, it always interested me with smart contract protocols. Like as soon as you launch the V1, the team immediately starts working on the V2, right? Because oftentimes they put out non-upgradable contracts, and once that protocol's out there, it's done, and then they immediately start working on the next version. It's really interesting. Cool.
Yep. It's good stuff all around. It's pretty exciting. The DeFi space is always entertaining. I just got to try to convince the TMDC to let me ape into Fox with full leverage.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. So, do you want to tell everybody about this potential strategy if we were to make Fox borrowable on our Rarity pool?
So I mean, it's a really good conversation, and it's cool. It highlights all of the interesting dynamics that we have as a DAO with, basically it's like a sovereign currency and what we want to enable and disable with our monetary policy. But if we were to enable, so first off, it sounds like we already are going down the path of enabling Foxy to be an asset that is used as collateral inside of our Rarity pool. So that means that you can stake your Fox, get Foxy back, and use that as collateral for whatever else you would like to do. So that's pretty sweet. But if we take that one step further and we enable the borrowing of Fox in our Rarity pool, we open up the opportunity to create leveraged Foxy. So the way that people are doing this in other DeFi protocols is basically like through recursion or through flash loans. We don't have flash loans available to us, so you'd have to kind of do it recursively right now, which means that you would take your Fox, deposit it into Foxy, get Foxy, use that Foxy as collateral on Rari, borrow Fox, and do the whole cycle over and over again. And while you're doing that, you basically end up stacking the returns or the yield, and you're paying something to borrow that Fox, but as long as it's lower or less than the APY that's being generated by staking, every time you do this, you basically end up with increasing returns. If you're familiar with InstaDApp, that's one of the main strategies that people utilize inside of there. It's been really effective for a lot of, like, you used to be able to do this, well, because you can still do it on Compound, a lot of other places. And there's some pretty good conversation in the Foxy thread about why we may or may not want to enable Fox borrows, and it's pretty interesting dynamic and conversation.
Yeah, great overview. I appreciate you bringing it up, and I do think it's worthy of discussion. I think before there wasn't a super strong argument to make Fox borrowable, and we had the argument against it, which is that we don't necessarily want to give people the ability to go short Fox. At least we didn't want to early on. But yeah, I think it's definitely worth revisiting now with the launch of Foxy. And another good argument to do it too is that the DAO can also could basically add Fox as collateral. We already have Fox as collateral in one of the Rari pools, and basically generate yield. Right now, we're not generating any yield off of that because Fox can't be borrowed. If Fox could be borrowed, then it's another revenue stream for the DAO.
Yep, and it does enable people that aren't interested in maybe going full ape, another option for basically providing that leverage to the apes, which is always another interesting strategy in DeFi, right? Is if you don't want to take on that additional risk that someone might want to leverage these things, supplying leverage in the space has always been pretty lucrative, and this would theoretically boost the APY if you were to lend out your Fox. So it's pretty cool how all these things fit together.
For sure. I would definitely ape into that strategy if we enabled it.
I'm sure there's people in this room that want to enable us apes, Willie, to do that. So it's great.
Totally. I'm a little biased for sure, but yeah, I support it for sure. Cool. And yeah, also it's a good segue to the discussing this the updates to the Rarity pool. So if you guys aren't familiar with this Fox and Friends Rarity pool, I'll post the link in stage chat. We covered this pretty in depth yesterday on the tokenomics call. But yeah, if you're not familiar with this Rarity pool, it's a really awesome tool that the DAO has. This is basically our very own kind of miniature lending and borrowing protocol. And right now, you can deposit one Fox Angel Vault LP and earn, I think it's about 130% APR in Fox rewards. And you can do this similar strategy where you can borrow stables against your one Fox Angel Vault LP, mint more one Fox, or buy one Fox if you prefer, and then deposit that into the Angel Vault and do that a few times to basically multiply your rewards. So that strategy is available right now. But as always, do research. It's not financial advice. Make sure it's good, right? Make sure you understand these protocols that you're depositing funds into, or on the flip side, that you're depositing funds into them that you don't mind losing, just to be safe. We gotta give that disclaimer. But yeah, pretty cool updates on the Rarity pool, and just a really cool reminder that we have this pool available. And there's a lot of cool things the DAO can consider doing with it, such as turning on fees. Right now, we're not generating any revenues from this Rarity pool, but most Rarity pools have an admin fee, where a % of the fee paid by borrowers to lenders actually goes to the admin, which is ShapeShiftDAO. So yeah, I think it's looking like we're already kind of putting more focus into this Rarity pool, and we expect to see some more collateral deposited and more loans taken by borrowers. So yeah, if we have anywhere near the success that Ichi has had with their Rarity pool by implementing similar strategies, then it could be a pretty strong revenue driver for us to consider. So definitely recommend checking out Rarity if you're not familiar with it. It's a really cool protocol. All right, we got 10 minutes. We got time for a few more questions or topics. Any questions from the community?
Yeah, this is Adrian. I'm in Miami. I was wondering who else is here, right? If we're meeting up anywhere.
What's up, Adrian? Nice. I know we mentioned Pasta Ghost and Highlander from the Keep Key team are down there. Does anyone else know any other Foxes that are at Bitcoin Miami right now? I know a lot of us are planning to go together, and then plans kind of fell through. The person who was renting a big Airbnb that a bunch of us were going to stay at had to cancel. So because of that, I think a lot of us, yeah, and a lot of us are going to permissionless next month. So that was personally why I was like, you know what, I don't need to go to Miami twice in a month.
Okay.
But yeah,
okay.
Are there any other Foxes?
Yeah. I'll do my best to represent over here. I still have a lot of research to do. I got to research Rari and a lot of things. I got a little bit of Fox tokens, but I'll see what I can research and see how I can talk up ShapeShift.
Sweet. Yeah, thanks for spreading the love down there and representing ShapeShift for us, Adrian. Really appreciate that. And definitely keep an eye out for the Keep You guys, Highlander and Pasta Ghost. I'm sure they'd love to meet you in RL.
Cool. Okay, great.
On that note, is anyone going to permissionless next month? I know John's going. I know Josh, you're going.
Yep, I'll be there.
Toasty, you gonna come party with us?
Yeah, I think I'm actually gonna try to be down there. So super excited. So you can do a Foxy Yacht Party or something.
Yeah, I remember Hunt has like 888 canvases, and he lives in Florida. I don't know how much time we have to prepare for it, but that'll be. I'll post an image of a cool thing we could do there. But had an idea to have like a party on the beach where people come basically make their own like Fox artwork and then can mint it as an NFT, a one-of-one NFT. And the cool thing about it is that we can do it in a way that doesn't require any art skills whatsoever. Because it's this technique called paint pouring. So here, I got a screenshot right here. I'll post an example of what these could look like. I've done a bunch of paint pouring because my girlfriend loves to make art, and I like to make art that looks cooler than what I'd be able to make with my actual artistic abilities. So yeah, check out that image I just posted in the stage chat. We've already got all these canvases, 888 canvases, and if we printed out basically these Fox decals and we could bought some paint, we could have a pretty cool event for a pretty low cost, where everyone gets actual physical piece of artwork and then the corresponding NFT.
Yeah, it's a super cool idea.
I have to say, I forgot about the canvas situation, and I just had a really good laugh.
Me too. Yeah, we need paint though, for sure. I don't have all that paint.
Fortunately, paint's pretty cheap. But yeah, that could end up being one of the best mistakes ever. Yeah. I would have loved to see the look on your wife's face when the truck pulled up with all those canvases. Yeah.
Dude, she still hasn't seen them, bro. I'm still,
Oh, yeah.
Secrets.
yeah, I'm still hiding the canvases, bro. For real.
Yeah, hopefully we can keep them hidden for like one more month.
I have them next to like everything else I have to hide that I accidentally order.
That's hilarious. Well, yeah, looking forward to permissionless and hope we can get a good Fox crew down there for it. It should be a really fun one. All right. Any other questions or topics? You guys hear ETH Barcelona is apparently back on?
I had not heard
When's
that.
it happening, actually?
No, Toasty told me it wasn't, but no, I don't.
Yeah,
I'll check
is
the
it
Telegram again.
official, Willie?
They posted, I mean, I hope it's not somebody trolling, but they posted that the conference is set to be the week of July 4th through 11th. Lots more info coming soon. So still waiting for more info. And yeah, I think I don't know if we can say it's with 100% certainty that it's happening, but it looks like it's back on, which is exciting.
Yeah, I was just checking out their Twitter. I haven't seen anything on there, but it doesn't look like they're too active on there anyways, so who knows?
Yeah, I hope we hear more soon. That could be an awesome one. But it has been a little, there's been a lot of uncertainty leading up to the conference, so TBD.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything in the Telegram group that I had joined a while back.
Darwin, how did the call go with Coinbooks yesterday? Darwin, are you avail? What's up, dude?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hey, I love that product, man. It's so cool. It went well. He was explaining us a little bit more because Maria didn't know the product. I mean, like, it was also the first time for me too. He was explaining how it is, like pulling all transaction for all the different wallets. It is, you can put as many wallets as you want, and it will pull all the information. He told us like all the different chains. I didn't wrote that, but oh yeah, I think like Ethereum, Genesis, Polygon. So it will support our Genesis wallet, like the Colony one. So yeah, that is pretty cool. I think like we just need to have like clean information because he can pull all our data into their platform to make all the reports, and from that point just keep populating that with on-chain information. So I guess we just need to clean a little bit what we already have, and at that point we can move to work with them. But yeah, I really like it.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear you like it. I really liked it, but obviously deferred to you because this is your realm. So hearing you like it gives me a lot of confidence in it. And yeah, I know major props to you, Darwin, on setting up those expenses and revenue spreadsheets. Beard was mentioning on stand-up this morning, he hadn't seen those spreadsheets yet, but thought they were really cool. And yeah, that's really awesome that the Coinbooks team is willing to like migrate all of our stuff from these spreadsheets into their tool for us. So looking forward to seeing how that goes. I've been really impressed with just their founder and his willingness to pretty much build everything we asked for. It's pretty awesome, and I agree. I think if we keep giving them the feedback, if there isn't any, if it's not perfect yet, then I'm confident they'll keep making the changes to build kind of the perfect DAO counting tool so that we don't have to build it all ourselves.
Yeah, and I agree. Like the product is amazing. He's super nice and willing to help us, and he is, like looking for feedback on his platform because they are developing that. They just got like $3 million in his $3 million in his first round in like the funding. So he has a bunch of money and talent to build an amazing product.
Totally. Yeah, he's crushing it. And really, yeah, some pretty awesome investors like Multicoin. I think he went through Y Combinator as well. So definitely a project to keep our eyes on. Well, I've only got a couple minutes left. I can leave you guys with a pretty cool update on FoxChain for anyone who's curious. We have our kickoff meeting in 30 minutes with the Coinbase Cloud team. So I know Michael Perklin's been preparing for that, and yeah, we should expect to start seeing some more FoxChain updates coming regularly. Now that I think it was a little bit delayed in getting off the ground. I know Perklin was busy with a lot, including a lot of the legacy ShapeShift stuff that he's been responsible for handling. So he's finally kicking things off and starting to fully focus on FoxChain. So with the support of Coinbase. So really excited for that. And yeah, everyone can look forward to some more updates on FoxChain. I guess one final update too. Mark your calendars. April 20th is going to be the first All Fox. So if you like hanging out with the community and hearing about all the latest happenings in the ShapeShift DAO, it's going to be the ideal meeting to get a bird's eye view on all the progress across all the work streams. So looking forward to the first ever All Fox the DAO on 420.
Is it bring your own edibles or smoke it if you got it?
Absolutely. BYOW, BYOB, BYOA. Bring your own whatever. We strategically scheduled it at the end of the day so that it could kind of mark the end of the workday for everybody. So it was pretty common when we had All Foxes at centralized ShapeShift that people would at least have a beer in their hand.
Yeah, always a good time. Willie, I wanted to say one last thing too. For you mentioned events coming up or whatever. So if anybody is going to NFT NYC, feel free to reach out to me. I'm going to a large amount of events and parties and stuff there, a lot of holder parties and stuff, and was able to get quite a few people into some of the events last year and everything for some of these private parties and everything. So reach out to me, and if you guys are in New York City, we can either connect and try to get you into some of these cool events.
Sweet. Glad you're going to be repping for us there, and hope some more Foxes can make it up too. I know it's going to be a fun event.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, thanks so much, everybody. It's been a great community lunch. Thank you again, Hunt and Toasty, for giving us a great overview of the marketing growth and globalization work stream. Hope you all have the best day ever. See you guys around.
Thanks, Willie Fox. Good to talk to you.
Thanks all. GM.